All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Thursday's pre-unemployment premarket info.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, Dennis, we took out yesterday's low by a couple points, but got a nice rebound in our hands. Currently trading at 13.14.
Still holding that 1300 area. As long as we stay above that 1300 area, Joel, I'll still stay bullish. 1305 is where we bounced off of in the pre-market on the S&P there. But what about Apple here, Joel? I'll let you go and do your S&P numbers, but man, Apple had a hell of a day yesterday.
Just to recap the S&Ps, we do have unemployment coming out tomorrow, so it could be range bound today. Don't see any real major resistance up to the 1320 level. Also coming back on the downside, Wednesday's low was 2 points away from the 4-day low at 1306, so we'll keep an eye on that. I was watching Apple at the end of the day yesterday, and it wasn't even like it was in the S&P 500. It was just doing its own thing.
Yeah, Joel, it really was. The relative strength on Apple is awesome right now. It was up $6 yesterday on a day we were down 20 in the S&P. This stock defines relative strength right now. I think, it's marching. Everybody's taking money out of everything else pretty much and throwing it into where it's had the best home in the last year, and that is Apple stock.
Yeah, that 575 was a hurdle for a couple days, but it was able to blow through that yesterday, and now it's trading up 3 points in the pre-market. Actually, we just hit a high at 582.60. Kind of have a soft number here that I'm going to be looking at over the next couple days in Apple. 586.33, Dennis. You know what? You know what 586.33 is? If there's nothing on the chart, you know why I'm looking at that number?
Why are you looking at that number?
Because if you take that high, it's 644.
Oh, you're doing math, Joel. Can you do math?
And then you go down to the low of 528.66. The 50% retracement is 586.33. You're going to get the bounce there, way ahead of the bounce in the S&Ps. Look for a little consolidation around area, but that's going to be a critical level for Apple to test today and get up and hold over the next few days. We have some market movers, Dennis. It looks like Sienna's. They have some good news out on Sienna.
Yeah, Sienna came out with earnings here this morning. Stock is moving up pretty significantly, actually, now, Joel. We're up 90 cents. 12.78 right now, trading after closing at 11.88. Nice hop for Sienna here. I think I'd play the whole numbers a little bit. You might run into a little earlier trouble at 13. First time we've been up in there, but there is that high. If you get above the 13 area, 13.65, and I think that'll provide some pretty stiff resistance. I mean, this stock's obviously been a terrible performer here in the last month and a half. It's marched down from the 17 area down to 12. It's getting a bounce here. There's been a lot of people underwater. I gotta think there's going to be some people saying and taking this opportunity to lighten their position. So wouldn't surprise me if it does, start to run to sellers here eventually.
Yeah, nice volume in the pre-market so far, 575,000. Right now at the top of the chart, 1278 is the high in the move. I see that little move above 13 there, 1323. I would look for that as a resistance point if, in fact, we can clear out 13. After that, 1365 was the high on May 16th. Keep an eye on that level. The last few spikes have been down to the 1220 level. So if you're, if you're playing it from the long side and looking for a place to cut loose, 1219 was yesterday's high. 1220 has been the low in the pre-market. Or if you're looking to do an early short, anything around that 1220, 1230 level would be a good area to cover.
If you are trading retail stocks today, though, it is same store sales Thursday, and we do have some retailers. We're a little bit early here, and not all of them have reported same store sales, but Target just reported here a few minutes ago, Joel, TGT. Stock is trading up 58.99. It traded initially up to here, which is up a buck 20. That's a little overdone, I think. It is bid up at 58.45 though. So Target is moving higher. You got the highs up there, Joel, in this 58.95 area. So this whole, somebody got excited about it right at resistance at 58.99. I think that'll still provide you some resistance early on this $59 area. What's your take on Target?
Yeah, I mean, same store sales. I mean, come on. How significant could that be
It
of a
can move them
number?
sometimes. I'll rebuke you a little bit there. It can move them sometimes, but whenever you have the same store sales report and boom, and you buy something on resistance like that, it seems like a silly trade to me. So I think that 59 is still going to hold, but sometimes surprisingly these can move pretty decent off the same store sales numbers.
Yeah, well, it's bumping up against some major resistance here, all the way up to the $59 level. It's where we are trading in the pre-market. So if you do get a break above there, it could be a breakout for Target, but I'd be looking more for people to lighten up their positions here on the long side, with it being up a buck 20 on 2,000 shares.
The Gap reported here too, Joel, is actually trading down just a bit. GPS trading down 26.40 right now after closing at 26.67. Didn't have a great day yesterday. I mean, a lot of stocks besides Apple didn't have a great day yesterday. So the sell-off continues somewhat here. Maybe you find a little support down this 26 area. What's your take there on Gap?
Trading at 26.30 has been the low end of pre-markets, down slightly. We already are trading through yesterday's low, so I would use that 26.64 as resistance. Coming back on the downside, Dennis, don't see a whole lot at the $26 level, but do see a low at 25.63. So I don't know. It's trading down, Dennis, but I don't think I get carried away on the short side.
TJX reporting to trading up just a little bit. This is another one that's going to run into some resistance, though. 41.62 is where it is trading right now, but if you look up here, we have multiple highs on this one, up in the 42.80 area, 42.62, 42.76, 42.70, 42.81, 42.54. So call that whole 42.75 to 42.85 area major resistance. If we come up a buck from there, I think probably that area will initially put a lid on it, I would think. What's your take on TJX?
It's gonna run. I mean, it's trading up a little bit here, Dennis, but it's really not that far from the 2-day high, 41.64. Yesterday's high was 41.56. So if it opens at that level and doesn't get a quick sprint to 42, I think I'd have to play this from the short side, looking at a double top.
Other stocks reporting. JOY reported last night there, Joel. Stock is actually reported here this morning. Stock is trading down. It took out that 52-week low of 57.48. It took that out in the pre-market earlier on, but it is trading above there now. So that 57.48 may still hold, so keep an eye on that level. If it does take out that 52-week low, you know what we say on the show. When the stocks start trading new 52-week lows, you gotta go. If you're long the thing, you don't want to be long stocks that are making new 52-week lows. So if it can hold that, you could maybe make it for a trade. But starts taking that out, I would not want to be long JOY.
Yep, 57.51 is where it hit in the pre-market, Dennis. Quite a bit below that the low that you're talking about there. The stock just in a whole heap of trouble, Dennis. I don't really know what to say about this one. The news is not good. It's already trading down. Major downtrend. I even will have to go to the monthlies to take a look at this one.
Uh-oh. We go
And
to
you're
the
right.
monthlies.
Yeah, but you're looking at the monthlies. 57.48 is a good number there. Below that level, Dennis, you're looking at 56.71, which was the high in September of 2000, or the low in September of 2010.
Yeah, trouble and joy land. Not a lot of joy there, Joel. LGF, Lionsgate. We talked about that on the show a few times. Obviously, the Hunger Games, their big gig. 12.33. It's trading down right now. They did report there last night, so stock is disappointing somewhat. I think the loss was wider than expected. Where are we going to find support on this one, Joel?
Wow, we got a spike down in the pre-market, Dennis, to 1183.
A little overdone.
Yeah, getting a little bit overdone here. I do see excellent support in this stock. 1125 and 1136 was the high at May 4th and May 7th. Ran into resistance. But the thing about this chart, Dennis, and we could just talk about this for a second, it's just like the euphoria of when things happen,
Yeah, yeah.
and if you and I could tell you exactly when that Hunger Games
Oh yeah,
came
look at
out.
the chart. I can tell you too when the Hunger Games is coming out and getting on. Look at the. I think everybody can tell you where. Guess, guess, guess. Where is it, Joel?
Yeah, right around March 21st, and just folks, when when you're trading stocks from an emotional side or movie side or whatever, just it's always good to also take the contrarian end of things because boy, it just put the top in there. I'm not sure what else they have in the pipeline, but whatever. We're technical traders. If it gets down, work its way back down to the 1150 level, we have excellent support.
TiVo reported earnings, one we haven't talked about on the show very much, I think for reasons that it's not a very good stock, Joel. Taking out the low there from a few days ago, it's trading 845 right now. The low from a few days ago there, just grabbing it for you, was 880. So now that we're below that, Joel, where is this thing heading?
Man, I'm gonna have to go to the monthlies on this one, Dennis. And we have major support in this thing. Ooh, boy, 867, but we're already trading below that.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, boy, $7 was a low back in April of 2011, 706.
Actually, July. I
That's
think it was July, Joel.
July,
Yeah, I've got
right?
July.
Actually, it was August.
August. Well, neither of us.
Yeah.
We're all wrong. We
I
can't look
don't
at
know,
dates.
Dennis.
August 12th. I got the exact date. It's August 12th.
Dennis, I tell you, I don't know. I mean, TiVo is just a thing of the past, I guess. I would look at the pre-market low at $8, and that's we're 45 cents above that. So look for this to trade, between 8 and 870 today.
I mean, let's be honest. Talk a little fundamentals on TiVo here. Direct TV, they have it in their receivers. Like, who needs to really buy a TiVo? It's in a lot of the receivers now. That the cable companies, the
Yep.
satellite companies are providing that service for you in your own subscription, and they usually charge. I think it's like $5 a month or something like that for it. So it's a tough gig because you're buying an outside box. It was cool when it came out. I mean, but everybody's replicated it now and providing the service within. So why go and buy another service from another company? We can just buy it in your own cable company. So I don't know. Like, they've got to obviously reinvent themselves a little bit there too. So there's a stock that I probably don't want to own. Really, McDonald's here. Might as well talk about McDonald's just quickly. It did go ex-dividend, Joel, and a lot of traders get caught by that, not realizing it's down 70 cents. It appears to be, but no, the adjusted close is 89.41, so it's actually trading up 89.69. So if you are trading McDonald's, make sure your software provider has adjusted the close for you. Don't get caught thinking the stock's down right now. It's actually trading up 89.69. This whole $90 level, though, I want to highlight this. It's always interesting when you trade these things before the dividend and when they go ex-dividend, especially some of these more higher yielding stocks, because the dividend players will take the stock home, try to capture the dividend, and then try to make a little bit on the stock as well. Their scratch price on this, if they took it home last night, is 90, or well, it's actually 89.41. But if they're getting greedy and trying to make something on the stock too, then it's always nice to know what price that they actually bought the stock at too, because you get some players that not only want the dividend, then they want to actually make money on the stock too, or scratch the trade out. So note the 89.41 level. We're trading above there, so you're getting out and making a little bit no matter what. But if they were trying to get out to $90, might be some resistance there, Joel.
Yeah, Dennis, you did a good job recapping that. I'm just looking at the daily chart of this, and this is not a pretty chart, Dennis.
Not really. McDonald's has been drifted down here for the last month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, after getting over 100 and getting all those upgrades and what a great stock it was in 2011, It's really taken it on the chin this year, especially in the last month and a half or so. We were at 98 bucks. Actually, at the beginning of the month, we were at 98.01, and then we got under 90 yesterday. And of course, with the ex-dividend, that we are trading under that level. But I keep an eye on 90 bucks. I mean, if this thing doesn't get back over 90, dividend or no dividend over the next couple of days, we could be in for another leg down.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, like McDonald's being a defensive stock, some of your other defensive stocks have actually performed quite well this year. You've got Coke, just a bit off, its 52-week high. Pepsi, approached it there the other day. Now Procter and Gamble, J&J, they've been weak. So it's interesting to know, some of your defensive stocks have, performed well, some of them haven't performed as well, and this is one that has been drifting down. So, but if you look at McDonald's over the course of the last few years, it's had a fantastic run. Back in early 2011, we were in the mid 70s, so a really big run for a defensive name to get over 100. So maybe it's just a natural pullback, Joel. I'm not sure, but I think we're starting to run short on time. Maybe you should give us a recap on the S&P there.
Yeah, Dennis, we've kind of had a little melt since we've been on the show. Currently,
ADP report came out there too, so that knocked us off a couple of points.
okay, a little precursor to the unemployment number. Just probably looking for a pretty quiet day ahead of the unemployment. Folks squaring positions. Keep an eye on yesterday's low and close, 1308, 1308.50. Still good numbers, even though we traded down to 1305 and a quarter in the pre-market. But Dennis, in the weekly outlook, I talked about all that time we spent between 1310 and 1320. We got the little blast up to 1334. Couldn't hold, and now we're right back in this range. I think the Spoos are going to settle at 1315 today.
I don't know where they're going to settle, but they got to hold above that 1300. You outlined that in the weekly report. That's the critical number to hold. We need to hold 1300 to stay, bullish here. Obviously, we start cutting through there, then we could get into trouble. So, and jobless claims just came out too. We're just hold on to the gains. We're up a buck here, Joel.
Okay, folks, we'll be back with you tomorrow, and have a good day.